Biafrans, as you all know, Nnamdi Kanu says, give Nigerian journalists money. They will tell you that Satan is godliness. And our topic today, Nigeria at large is asking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu because the fear of Simon Ekpa is the beginning of all wisdom. As we start now to analyze most of the things holding us in stage, now we are putting the record straight. What Nigerian journalists doesn't know is that our Prime Minister, His Excellency Obato Simon Ekpa, have removed our eyes from the ball and he has placed it down to the rising sun. And our eyes is right there now on the rising sun. And for that reason, we are marching forward to the rising sun. When we say rising sun means putting your eyes there where they are changing the narratives. That place they are changing the narratives, that is the eye on the rising sun. Nnamdi Kanu created journalists. When he started, he knew that journalists lie a lot. They can change narratives. First of all, he created journalists. He said he gave people opportunity to speak, which today His Excellency Simon Ekpa have taken it upon himself and still giving us opportunity to speak. So, if you enter here, please, you know what to do. We are at work and we are at war as well. We are now into logical warfare. Yes, you come early today. You come early today. Everybody that is here, you come early. Now, we are just starting. Please hit the like button. Share it to the last man standing. Any forum, any WhatsApp group, because let us start a little and begin to change, to tell these people that we know everything. What Nnamdi Kanu start
asking for anybody's land. I have said it here and it's on record. We will give you all the oil and gas you need for free. We don't need oil and gas. We just want to be free. We don't. We're not. I am. Heaven will bear me witness. We are not lazy people. We don't need oil and gas for anything. They can take all the oil and gas that they need. I am a believer in inward investment because I read economics. I know what inward investment will mean. So countries will come to Biafran and to invest and to start their factories and their manufacturing base. Their, research and development will be there as well. I know what we are. Please, we are not daft. Anybody saying we are not supporting Biafra because we don't know what we are going to get is because you're a fool. We are the foremost capitalists. We believe in private ownership of property. We can never be communists in our lives. It's impossible. We are die-in-the-wood capitalists. So what is your problem? Why won't you let us be? Oh, you are afraid that we will, put a lie to the fact that black people are idiots and can never do anything for themselves. The reason why David Cameron is afraid of Biafra is because they think that if Biafra comes, they won't be feeling big anymore about themselves, immigration. Give us Biafra, you won't have immigration problem anymore. Bring them to Biafra, we'll take them. Everybody. That's how confident we are. I said, Biafra comes, you won't have immigration problem in your life again. Bring everybody to us, we'll take them. Because Biafra will be built in a way that no other African country can ever match up, forever and ever. That foundation, we are laying it now. Where? In your brain. By showing you how to think. To be self-critical. Never feel sorry for yourself. Rise up and keep going. That's how you succeed. As long as you're whiter than white and whiter than snow, of course, that helps too. It does help, as we are here. Because we are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender Biafra or death. See that we get Biafra or we are dead, so don't worry. We know what we're doing. Either we get Biafra or we die getting Biafra. There is no other way. There is no third option. There is no third way. That is why we are impatient. You people are the ones holding us. That we have not marched is because we don't have enough weapons. You are the ones stopping us, and the zoo will fall. We are not asking for anybody's land. I have said it here and it's on record. We will give you all the oil and gas you need for free. We don't need oil and gas. We just want to be free. We don't. We're not. I am. Heaven will bear me witness. We are not lazy people. We don't need oil and gas for anything. They can take all the oil and gas that they need. I am a believer in inward investment because I read economics. I know what inward investment.
Yes, Biafrans, thank you for joining. Thank you all for joining. These people think that it is yesterday when they can change the narrative and all of us will keep quiet.
There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law.
They think that it is those days when we used to keep quiet. So as we are coming up, our intention today is to just come and debunk what is here now and keep the record straight. Please. Then we have in this place a Mark Gold. We have in this place Chidubem Eman. We have in this place Donaski. We have in this place Lolo Ego Yibo. And we have in this place Ejike Okoye. We have in this place Wislam Chuku. We have in this place Igwe Anthony. And we have in this place Diana Agundiba. Chinedum Mado. Thank you, everybody that is here. And we are marching forward. These people think that they will deceive us again. And we are here and we bring out all our time, making sure that we are not stopping halfway. We are not stopping halfway. Chidimma Mado, thank you. Dada Saza, thank you. Peter Pan, thank you. Chiem Mwokoro, thank you. Then, and we have automatic motivation like a jingles, which we are bound to play, knowing our rights, knowing the person that
have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense, these principles are universal and we must uphold them. International law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Today, the Biafra Liberation Army have neutralized dozens of these terrorists in our land, and we are proud of them. They will continue to go down. Our demand is very simple. Pull them out of Biafra land. Remove every checkpoint. If you do not dismantle all the checkpoints, they will continue to die. We will continue to excel. We will continue to deal with Nigeria, and Nigeria will never ever remain the same until Biafra exits from Nigeria. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence in self-defense. So I told them, oh my God, here is not taken. I will turn to a beast and Biafra will come. Nigeria has no rule of law. Their rule of law is gun and bullet. And we have
now, Biafrans, with the play with the show. One thing we have to let you people know is this. The Biafran media is overcoming Nigerian media. Some of our messages now is having more views than Arise News, than Channel News, than TVC News, all those Nigeria corrupt politicians, political platforms, they don't have views again. Biafra is increasing left, right, and center. Anywhere we are fighting them. If you check this news you are watching here now, when we are finishing this news, you will see that we have more views more than them. You can also go to the Twitter. You will see our prime minister, whenever he is online talking, you will see followers that have come to listen, because we are here to set the record straight. These people want to deceive us, but Mazen Nnamdi Kanu created journalists and he gave us opportunity to speak. Here we go.
Lawmakers under the aegis of the concerned federal lawmakers for peace and security in the southeast, spread across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, have appealed to President Bola Tinubu to invoke Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and Section 1071 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 to release the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, from the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. The 50 lawmakers elected on the platform of different political parties believe the presidential gesture would engender peace in the troubled southeast region of the country. Peace cannot be kept by force, but by understanding, Emeka.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's good, because you cannot continue to hold on to one person, Nnamdi Kanu, while different elements, are freely moving about, causing destruction. Exactly a week today, I lost a member of my extended family to this unknown gunmen. They were in an exchange of fire with vigilantes. And this young lady, her bride price had been paid just for the wedding ceremonies to take place. And she was shot. Wow. They killed her. Another little boy in my extended family, his intestines boiled out. Thank God he was taken to the hospital. Surgery has been done successfully. And he's, responding to treatment. Yeah. They went somewhere. People who were going on there, they just shot them, killed another person. Why? Why would people just be able to move freely and just open fire as if you are killing? You can't even kill animals like that. People will raise, people will raise eyebrows. Now why? We just go about and just be shooting lizards or animals like that.
Listen very, very well.
And that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra. And nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back. Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra. And nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back.
Are you following? Yes, Manuel, Marcos, thank you. We must continue fighting until Biafra is free from evil Nigeria. Lolo Ego Yibo, Lolo Nnoma, Lolo Ego Yibo is one of us, but she isn't joined. Yeah, Lolo Nnoma, thank you. Yeah, they done. Yes, thank you. Chiboy, everybody is here. James Diake, thank you, Lolo. Absolutely, PM. Then Victory Johnson, thank you. Chiboy, we are here to keep the record very, very straight. Honor of prayer. Thank you, Jesus Ministry. We call the people of the Bible people to come and join this thing. Use Bible quotation to come and liberate Biafra. Yeah, honor of prayer, Jesus Ministry. Thank you for joining. I love my fatherland. I love Biafra. Till Biafra comes, Nigeria will know no peace. This is from ministries, because we are preaching this gospel. Alozie Ambrose, good morning. Thank you. John, thank you. Nnamdi, Amade, thank you. Hamilton Luma, thank you. Yes, we are coming. We are here. Buffalo soldier. Yeah, this is Buffalo soldiers. You know, but Mali say, don't make this thing to be so beautiful, but tell them the truth. Buffalo soldiers. Then let us continue, please.
I support what they have said. The time has come for us to take every measure that we can, outside of just using force.
But let me add quickly, yes. Nnamdi Kanu had dissociated himself from the madness that's going on.
Yeah, Nnamdi Kanu said no more sit at home.
He said no more sit at home.
Nnamdi Kanu said that nobody should kill anybody. It's the people of the Southeast who are even suffering the most. And you're making widows out of young wives.
Sorry, but the story is not helped by the activities of that guy in Finland, Simon.
Yeah, you can neutralize. You have Nnamdi Kanu with you. Like they say, charity begins at home. Let's deal with the one we are holding. When you can work things out with him, let's see how we work out at least peace in the Southeast. Then the man out there, that one, when we get to that bridge, we'll know how to cross it. But let's sort out the one we have so that, you see, there can be peace in the Southeast.
Are you understanding?
Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back.
Mazi, the Prime Minister himself, says that when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to come to Finland for talk, because we are now on lobby movement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says he feels very safe in Israel, meeting our Prime Minister in Israel or in Finland. So, as Nigeria at large, the lawmakers is now demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they are also demanding for the case he is there. And they are now bringing out everything Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that provoke Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to begin to ask for our freedom. The thing that also made our Prime Minister to leave his comfortable home and join this struggle. Our Prime Minister, when he was Nnamdi Kanu disciple, he cried on the public because Dave Umahi slaughtered a lot of people in Ebony State. A lot of things is happening. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu created ESN. And today, Justice Binta Nyako is telling you as a chief judge that she don't have right for justice to reign in the land. That Tinubu has the right to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And now, let us go inside this place and you will know why we are doing this thing like this. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made us take oath, and he said, Biafra is the last miracle, and the restoration of Biafra is the only solution. He didn't ask you to come and take oil. If you want to take oil for free, because he said he read economics, how Biafra have to live. And the prime minister says that this is a brain-based economy. We are not relying on the mineral resources found in Biafran land. We are relying on our brain. You see all the lobbies going on today, all these lobbies you see going on today, all of them are signing with the country that is supporting Biafra. All of them are coming to take the oil in order for them to give us Biafra, because restoration of Biafra is our ultimate goal. So, what did Mazen Nnamdi Kanu say in our initial video here? He says, come and take the oil, give us Biafra. So, who is now trying to change the narrative? We are here to tell you, you cannot change this narrative. Then, when we got the, okay, we continue. Justin, thank you. Peter Okafor, thank you. Vivian Maswell. There's no other option than to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Then Uzoma Donald. Thank you. Simeon Ugochukwu. Yes, thank you. Listen, we have to be going straight, because brown envelope journalists should know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu created journalists before going.
The situation is really horrible.
Asoko, the talk around the country is about a political solution to the Nnamdi Kanu story.
Yeah, I think that should be, it should be on the table, because I know last week also the lawyer was saying something about negotiating, you know.
Yeah,
out of court,
Yeah.
muted that to the judge, and the judge was saying it's not in my hands. Go and meet the AGF, you know, to discuss that, you know. So if they are thinking about that, it means they really want.
George says that it is not in his hand to stand for justice. They have to go and meet a drug lord, someone that is not elected in the government, who say that it is his own turn to stand on the justice. Fire is burning in Nigeria. That is why we are putting this thing. When we finish this thing now, you will see that our Biafran media is having more view, more than all these people you see today. We are winning them from all angles. We must continue. Chidebere, Christian, thank you. We must continue.
That political solution to the matter, you know, and if he agrees with the political solution, the FG should look at it. It should be based on their terms. Don't forget that he also joined bail in 2017, so that is still going to be fresh in the memory of the FG. So for the political solution, I will agree with it. That should be, it should be on the table, because I know last week also the lawyer was saying something about negotiating, you know.
Yeah,
out of court,
Yeah.
muted that to the judge, and the judge was saying it's not in my hands. Go and meet the AGF, you know, to discuss that, you know. So if they are thinking about that, it means they really want that political solution to the matter, you know. And if he agrees with the political solution, the FG should look at it. It should be based on their terms. Don't forget that he also joined bail in 2017. So that is still...
You know why I paused this thing? This journalist, this man now is still saying that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu jump bail. He is still saying, claiming that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu jump bail. That is why I pause it. For you people to know, these people want to ransack Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, but we are here to put the record where it's supposed to be.
FG should look at it. It should be based on their terms. Don't forget that he also joined bail in 2017. So that is still going to be fresh in the memory of the...
Are you seeing the brand envelope journalists? Are you people seeing them? That is why we are here, to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was in his own home, preparing to go to court, and he demanded 2 million people to follow him. Then they sent Operation Python Dance to kill him. they ended up killing 28 people physically, including Jack the dog. But this journalist here is telling you that they are now going into a political solution. And since they started like this, look at what is happening.
Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back. Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer.
Are you following what we are doing? Are you following what we are doing? If you are following what we are doing, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do. Chukwode, Martins, do you know one of the reasons the lawmakers is coming? They said that Simon Ekpa has a tremendous followers all over the world. Extreme followers all over the world. Yeah? These are the demons who are happy for kidnapping Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Look at how terrible he is speaking rubbish. He has refused to mention the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, whom they hate so much. Stella Azoka, are you getting it? We are keeping our people alert. We continue, please.
AFG. So for the political solution, I will agree with it. Let him go there. Let him negotiate. Even though Nnamdi Kanu didn't come out plainly to say it on camera, but his lawyer is also muting that idea. And I think if the lawyer brings it to him,
he would have sounded Nnamdi out.
If he brings it to him and said, "Guy, let's just take this, solution, so that we'll leave this Abuja and go back to our region and bring peace to the region," because it is, whether you like or you don't, citizen, that particular crisis in the southeast region is affecting most of everybody around.
Yeah.
Even if you are going to the south too, sometimes you will be afraid not to go on a Monday because you don't know what you will meet.
Yeah.
Because you will cross through Owerri, you cross through Anambra before you get to to the south.
Emeka, but this thing is a two-way street. My people would say, while you talk to the hawk that steals chicks, you must talk to the mother hen to keep the chicks away. So Nnamdi must play ball too.
Well, at least
if you understand what I mean.
Yes, I understand. But you see, yes, he was on bail, but the federal government still sent soldiers to his house, and he had to flee for his life. Somebody is on bail, and you still went after him. What did you expect him to do? To wait for you to kill him? That was number one. Error number one. Then number two, you went all the way to Kenya and renditioned him illegally. Error number two. Then the situation continues to worsen. What are you killing? That was number one.
You talk to the hawk that steals chicks. You must talk to the mother hen to keep the chicks away.
Yes. The advantage, a lot of advantages in what we are doing is in this channel television, in this Arise News, in this TVC News, all these places you see all these people, educated illiterates, that is serving Fulanese. Do you know we are here selling the idea? When people watch what we are doing, you go to their comment section, you will see how they are bombarding them. You will see how they are bombarding them heavily. And that is why the Hamilton Luma says here now, these journalists are irritating. They are all persist. How can they still saying that he jumped bail? And because of our narratives, some of them is battling them, knowing that Obate Obie is unstoppable. Biafran restoration is more than anybody, and the zoo government of Nigeria should understand that. They should understand that. Then this one now, this news now is coming from Chiem Nwokoro. Is this journalist better than Chiem Nwokoro? The answer is no. Are you understanding? We have right to our own opinions. Uzoma Donald, there is no other peace, or our leader will give us Biafra, and let us go there. Let us go and hear what he told them. He gave them this option, and yet they are still there. Yet they are still there.
Said it here and is on record. We will for anybody's land. I have said it here and is on record. We will give you all the oil and gas you need for free. We don't need oil and gas. We just want to be free. We don't. We're not. I am. Heaven will bear me witness. We are not lazy people. We don't need oil and gas for anything. They can take all the oil and gas that they need. I am a believer in inward investment because I read economics. I know what inward investment will mean. So countries will come to Biafra land to invest and to start their factories and a manufacturing base. Their, research and development will be there as well. I know what we are. Please, we are not daft. Anybody saying we are not supporting Biafra because we don't know what we are going to get is because you're a fool. We are the foremost capitalists. We believe in private ownership of property. We can never be communists in our lives. It's impossible. We are die in the wood capitalists. So what is your problem? Why won't you let us be? Oh, you are afraid that we will, put a lie to the fact that black people are idiots and can never do anything for themselves. The reason why David Cameron is afraid of Biafra is because they think that if Biafra comes, they won't be feeling big anymore about themselves, immigration. Give us Biafra, you won't have immigration problem anymore. Bring them to Biafra, we'll take them. Everybody. That's how confident we are. I said, Biafra comes, you won't have immigration problem in your life again. Bring everybody to us, we'll take them. Because Biafra will be built in a way that no other African country can ever match up, forever and ever. That foundation, we are laying it now. Where? In your brain. By showing you how to think. To be self-critical. Never feel sorry for yourself. Rise up and keep going. That's how you succeed. As long as you're whiter than white and whiter than snow, of course, that helps too. It does help, as we are here. Because we are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender Biafra or death here. Because we are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender Biafra or death. See that we get Biafra or we are dead, so don't worry. We know what we're doing. Either we get Biafra.
So, are you following? I see our honorable minister in this place. Sumudu. Thank you so much, Sumudu. You are doing mighty and a great job. Some people doesn't know. It is not the people that is in this face that is doing job. There are people who is doing what they call an inside job. Sumudu, Biafrans love you so much. Your handwork, we are seeing it, and we have to be telling Biafrans. People, some president in this world used to have what they call an advisor, somebody that is inside, bringing the knowledge to the public secretly. Sumudu, Biafra love you, and we appreciate your job very, very well. Thank you, Sumudu. Then Biafrans, you can also say hi to Sumudu. Then, why are they telling lawyers what to do or what to say? Biafrans are awake and highly awake. Elochukwu Patrick is also here telling us, and he is witnessing what we are doing. Zion Ego, thank you, journalists. We already know you people, and you cannot do anything anymore because we already know the game. Chukwuka Sylvester, Thank you. This, you know why we are reading your name? They are afraid. The other journalist the other day says that Simon Ekpa has a lot of followers, and the simple reason they are now, lawyers are coming now, judges are coming now, asking Nigeria at large, both to North, Hausa, Yoruba, Ghana, everywhere is asking for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, is because the multitude, His Excellency Simon Ekpa is controlling today is unnumberable, too much, and they have no option. That is why they are coming. We have a lot today, and we will stop exactly 1 o'clock today. Then, here, when we are reading these names, here about Nigeria, they know that these are not robots, these are human beings. You understand? Samson, Adetule, keep it up. This Adetule is Yoruba. You know that Iboho is still there. Then Chukwu Onyeka, thank you, Stella. That's why the whole world is afraid of the resurrection of Biafra. But whether they like it or not, Stella Azoka have told you that Biafra must be restored. Bear that in mind. Chiem Wokoro, that guy in the studio said the truth. This one now, that's why I pause it for everybody to digest what we are doing, because we are here debunking them. Are you understanding? Chris Sumudu, somebody is greeting you. Then yes, Friday Okafo is telling you also, and we are greeting everybody. Delightful, Yamechi, Justin. Then we will go here again, entertaining and doing it.
So Nnamdi must play ball too.
Well, at least
if you understand what I mean.
Yes, I understand. But you see, yes, he was on bail, but the federal government still sent soldiers to his house, and he had to flee for his life. Somebody is on bail, and you still went after him. What did you expect him to do? To wait for you to kill him? That was number one. Error number one. Then number two, you went all the way to Kenya and renditioned him illegally. Error number two. Then the situation continues to worsen. What are you gaining? The chief of defense was talking of going to bring Simon Ekpa. You brought Nnamdi Kanu. Has the situation changed? The situation has not improved. So the best thing is for you to do things properly.
But there's this issue of some unscrupulous guys taking advantage.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
When the nature abhors a vacuum, you have criminal elements who just look for opportunities.
No, as they say, society prepares the crime, the criminal
commits it. Yeah, so they don't look for opportunities, to commit crimes. You have cultists and different kinds of dangerous elements. Don't forget the prison break, where some of those inmates have not been found till today. And then other jailbreaks in different parts of the country. So when you put all of those things together, Nnamdi Kanu has come out to say that, yes, he is ready to help ensure that peace, security return to the Southeast. Of course, if somebody with you, you should work out terms with him, because if you insist on trial, it will just keep going. You just keep going around from Federal High Court to Appeal Court to Supreme Court back again. And this thing is at the expense of the state. You're spending state resources.
Yeah.
But if you can work out a political solution in such a way that benefits everybody, it's a win-win for Nigerians. So it is better to look at it, and say, okay, let's sit down. The Attorney General of the Federation calling, the other side, and they look into things, and then maybe inviting governors, prominent politicians, traditional rulers, religious leaders from Southeast, and they sit down. How can we work something out? Sit down with Nnamdi Kanu, work things out. He's no more a child.
Because I think that
over 50.
That's a very valid point, because the traditional rulers, men of influential men in the Southeast, they need to be involved in any negotiation whatsoever. so that if anything wants to happen, we will know who we are going to hold accountable.
Yes.
You know, because we just need that. I keep saying it. We need that peace in the South.
Oh, yes.
Because if we are spending money, we are spending money fighting internal wars.
Yeah.
I keep saying.
Yes, Biafrans. Today, you know, these people are the same people that authorized Operation Python Dance. These people are the same people that called Mazen Nnamdi Kanu all manners of names. These are the same people who classify all Igbo people terrorists, and they call all of them terrorists. Some people is reminding you here, Nnamdi Amadi say, hit the like button because we need numbers in this place. If you have not shared, please share. If you have not subscribed to this platform, 555 Vision, please do so. So we continue. All these things start. All this thing is like this because Simon Ekpa said he is not fighting like Ojukwu. He never even think of fighting like Owazorike. Neither is he even thinking about him. He is not there to think or fight like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He is bringing Biafra with a different dimensional ideology. And that is why the pressure we are putting on from this place, changing the narratives of whatever that is happening, the narratives now has come to the way that the international communities already
There are inalienable rights. Governments must have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights. Governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense, these principles are universal and we must uphold them. International law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility. International law must be protected.
Are you getting what we are doing? Try to get it right. Because of the kidnap of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, then the same journalist you saw, you are looking in this place, these are the people that team up and rendition Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Lai Mohammed came up and say, yes, we have to celebrate. Malami came and he began to speak Hausa to everyone. Then Simon Ekpa has to change the narrative. Now the narrative have changed. The activity which you see the lobby team, we made the analysis here yesterday, the lobby team came and they confirmed that the Simon Ekpa, yeah, you know, they are the people that is giving him the right name. They are the people that address him the way he is supposed to be addressed. How did they address our prime minister? They address him, His Excellency, the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Because Dibiolo Adaganya, that is why you can see these people, they will call him different kind of criminal and all manners of names. Why people inside Washington, D.C., White House is addressing our Prime Minister as Prime Minister, His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Biafran government, United States of Biafra. They gave him his name according to how it's supposed to be. But they are here thinking that we are joking. Let them know that we are not joking. That is a Sunday. I greet you. Hamilton, Yes, we are here bringing the news up. Everything we are bringing it up. Everything we are bringing it up. Joseph, Madabuchi, I greet you also. Kevin, Tutu, thank you. Then we go here until the reason to go to PM will come.
We are fighting internal
wars more.
You know, more.
Asufo and Emeka, if peace returns to the southeast, the south as a whole would heave a heavy sigh of relief.
Exactly.
In fact, the entire country.
Okay.
Because you have many. There are many Nigerians. Nigerians. From different places, who live and work in the southeast. They live and work in the south. Some even own property, own businesses. There are some businesses actually in the southeast that you'll be surprised are being run by non-Igbos. Yes. For instance, look at Onitsha Business School. It was founded and is being run by a Yoruba man. It's teaching Igbo traders how to do business.
You know what is called the cry of a dying horse? That is what they are doing. Do you know why they are doing this thing? We will be telling them the truth face to face. We will be telling them the truth face to face because this is the alliance we have taken. You know the reason they are now telling you, yes, they know that Nnamdi Kanu is the solution of Africa. They kidnapped him when he was shouting. They call him all this kind of name you are seeing them today calling our prime minister. This is the name they called him. But what is happening today? Nnamdi Kanu, they have now seen that Nnamdi Kanu is the solution to the entire black race all over the world. But who will make this thing to work? Who will make this thing to work? Nnamdi Amade, we are over 200, but we have just liked 100. Please, Nnamdi Amade take it upon himself to make sure that everybody should hit the like button. Please use your time and hit the like button. So when you hit the like button, it will send information to other people because we are here debunking and setting the record straight with what they say. Ebere, thank you. Then, because the fear of Simon Banjoko is the beginning of all wisdom. And the freedom is taken is also here. The Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom panicking. And since you have just come there now, let us go there and hear his voice. They are panicking. Automatic panicking.
Always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Today, the Biafran Liberation Army have neutralized dozens of these terrorists in our land, and we are proud of them. They will continue to go down. Our demand is very simple. Pull them out of Biafra land. Remove every checkpoint. If you do not dismantle all the checkpoints, they will continue to die. We will continue to excel. We will continue to deal with Nigeria, and Nigeria will never ever remain the same until Biafra exits from Nigeria. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence in self-defense. So I told them, oh my God, here is not taken. I will turn to a beast and Biafra will come. Nigeria has no rule of law. Their rule of law is gun and bullet. And we have
now what you have just heard in that place is the reason 50 lawmakers is asking for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Because of what you have just heard in that place, 50 lawmakers is now asking for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And all these cock and bull stories you are hearing here now is coming.
Things like that. So the thing is that Nigeria, we are diverse, and we are one. We
look at them.
To each other.
Nigeria is diverse, and we are also one. Something that is diverse and is also one. How long will these people stop beating around the bush every now and then? And that is why we will teach them the language they will not understand. And that is what you see going on today. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has to come out to stop PM. Then how is he then coming out? Can Mazen Nnamdi Kanu change his word? That is the question. And the possibility, we have not found the possibility of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu changing his word. The possibility have not really occurred. The possibility is not really in any way coming to us, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has given everything we need. He gave us all the tools we need to restore Biafra. Grace Onwubeya, thank you for joining. It will be well with you also. Then thank you. Then Onuoma Kenechukwu, thank you. Fatmata, thank you. Lars Benzico, thank you. PM is unstoppable. Freedom is taken. Yes, cry, babies. Fatuma. Then we have to bring people up for them to know that there are followers that is here. They say in this place, Nigeria is diverse.
For instance, look at Onitsha Business School.
Not there.
It was founded and it's being run by a Yoruba man. It's teaching Igbo traders how to do business in the modern way. There are things like that. So the thing is that Nigeria, we are
click
diverse,
on the like button and share.
We are one. We blend into each other.
We blend.
Diversity should be exploited for advantage.
Yes, for positive. You live anywhere, you should work to develop that area, build that area. Then others stay in your own area, in your village, they do the same thing. It should be, scratch my back and scratch your back. We should be able to build a country where anybody can stay, live and do business, go to school anywhere, without let or hindrance. That is what will build this nation.
That was why the NYSC came on board. So you can go to school, then they'll move you to another place. But I also like the fact that the 50 lawmakers is not just from one particular session. It cuts across the this geopolitical zone. Meaning that
and political parties.
And political parties. So meaning that they are all looking at, we need that piece, this to be done with. Anything that concerns Nnamdi Kanu. Because they were signatories to it. They sent the letter to the president and say, sir, let's look at this. Just invoke this section 173 and 74, or interestingly, for him to be able to look at it and see how they can do it outside, going to the court and
interestingly, Mr. President is a listening man.
No, of course he listens.
It has got to a point where
he has
they have to listen.
As father figure,
they have to listen.
I tell you for free, if the president looks at this and then begin to consider the political solution, and Nnamdi Kanu is freed, it's going to be one of the biggest legacies of this administration.
And of course, Emeka, if you release Nnamdi Kanu today, those taking his absence to advantage will look for something else to do.
Of course, because if you say you've been fighting, killing people because Nnamdi Kanu was doing that.
So what else do you want to?
What are you? I mean, what are you looking for? Like there's this proverb, from somewhere in Delta that says that you became king and you are still making charms. Do you want to become God? You are making charms to become king. You became king. You are still making charms. You want to become God. So the thing is this: what the man you said you are fighting for his release is out. So
in fact, that is when the federal government can now go all out for those who are still having these guns.
The so-called unknown
gunmen. So you can now deal with them.
Known.
Yes, and then I believe our problems really can be resolved through dialogue, through negotiation. Issues of injustice.
But Biafrans, are you people really getting the key of what is happening here? These people is trying to program Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to come and abandon Biafra. And the word of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu says, Biafra remains one and the only solution to all our problem. And he told you that he is not interested in your mineral resources. Look at it. This is the program we have come to make today.
And I have said it here and it's on record. We will give you all the oil and gas you need for free. We don't need oil and gas. We just want to be free. We don't, we're not, I am, heaven will bear me witness. We are not lazy people. We don't need oil and gas for anything. They can take all the oil and gas that they need. I am a believer in inward investment because I read economics. I know what inward investment will mean. So countries will come to Biafra land to invest and to start their factories and a manufacturing base. Their, research and development will be there as well. I know what we are. Please, we are not daft. Anybody saying we are not supporting Biafra because we don't know what we are going to get is because you're a fool. We are the foremost capitalists. We believe in private ownership of property. We can never be communists in our lives. It's impossible. We are die-in-the-wood capitalists. So what is your problem? Why won't you let us be? Oh, you are afraid that we will, put a lie to the fact that black people are idiots and can never do anything for themselves. The reason why David Cameron is afraid of Biafra is because they think that if Biafra comes, they won't be feeling big anymore about themselves, immigration. Give us Biafra, you won't have immigration problem anymore. Bring them to Biafra, we'll take them. Everybody. That's how confident we are. I said, Biafra comes, you won't have immigration problem in your life again. Bring everybody to us, we'll take them. Because Biafra will be built in a way that no other African country can ever match up, forever and ever. That foundation, we are laying it now. Where? In your brain. By showing you how to think. To be self-critical. Never feel sorry for yourself. Rise up and keep going. That's how you succeed. As long as you're whiter than white and whiter than snow, of course, that helps too. It does help, as we are.
That is the mental toughness and the mental capability. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, before going, he dropped all the message to his followers. Just like Jesus Christ said, I have prepared you. Go to the world, deliver the message down to the end of this very earth, because you have been prepared. He prepared everybody, and he said, look, they have budgeted more than $30 billion to conquer us under the ideology of Usman Dan Fodio. And that is how you begin to see all these people on suit. But what they fail to know is that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu already prepared his followers before coming. How can somebody that went to school, the kind of English you will be hearing in this place, Buhari cannot speak it, all these Fulanis can't speak it, but somebody will go to school, do his master's degree, getting his PhD, the person will end up speaking only English in the social media, in the internet, deceiving people. And we have come to put an end to all this rubbish. Yes. Then we have to go here.
Over grazing right.
Please, this is you will see the lawyer of the lawyer that is in charge of the 50 lawmakers that is leading the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And he said in this place that this is Nigeria people at large. Remember, Mazi Simon Ekpa, His Excellency, the Prime Minister of United States of Biafra, said he promised Nigeria that the kidnap of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be worthless in their own hand. and he will make that kidnap to be useless, that they will regret of even thinking of going after him. Today, Nigeria at large, the people that tag indigenous people of Biafra terrorists, they are signing, and we have the list of people who is signing from all corners of Nigeria. All of them are now demanding for the immediate and the unconditional release of the person they tagged terrorists. Are you understanding? So, Biafrans, here we go. Please.
Rights and access to land. Thousands of people have been killed in this decades-long conflict that's led to an unending cycle of attacks and revenge attacks. And with each assault, the strikes become more deadly and more sophisticated than ever before, with the herders arming themselves with AK-47 rifles. The clashes have sown discord across Nigeria, threatening community relations and putting pressure on the government to act. And now, following the introduction of a bill at the National Assembly to regulate animal husbandry and ranches across Nigeria, there have been rowdy arguments and counter-arguments at the Senate for and against the bill. Here's a little taste of how it unfolded at the upper house. Told we don't have that clip, which is rather unfortunate, but somebody we have here is Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, who supports the idea of ranches as the way to end the cycle of revenge attacks. We were hoping to see a clip of him earlier during the debate at the Senate, but that clip unfortunately is not here. But Senator Abaribe joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. And first of all, let me apologize profusely because we've had some monstrous technical problems inside the studio. You were a witness to that. We had a major disturbance in here, and unfortunately that cut off all our systems. We've only just got the systems back on, so we appreciate your patience. And as we say, we owe you one. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
There was an issue you were drawing attention to, though, in the clip that we were hoping to have seen, which is about the Land Use Act and how it relates to the issue of ranching. Do you mind explaining to us what the issue is with that?
Well, let me just say that anytime that this matter comes up, and by virtue of hindsight, having been in the Senate for a very long time,
please,
there has always been
just continue.
an effort
this is not the news I am looking for,
by
but I am bringing it
different
up
senators to deal with this issue. And anytime the issue comes up, there will always be this set of arguments that are made. And once those who make those arguments start with it, what will now happen is that we end up always quarreling among ourselves, and then that bill never gets, done. And what I was trying to point out in that at that time is, look at this set of arguments. By virtue of the fact that I've always been in this Senate, this matter will always come up. And I was trying to tell all my colleagues, those who are about 70% of the senators there today just came into the Senate. So they have to have a virtue of having those of us who have been there before to say, these things have come before.
Right, to give them the background.
And this is the background.
Right.
And I started by saying, well, Senator Kwankwaso, at the time he was a senator, brought this same bill. But this is what always happens. First, there will be the argument about our rights as Nigerians. And of course, one of our rights is that you have the right for free movement within Nigeria. But whenever they bring that argument of free movement, they never bring the other argument of a right to life, which is a constitutional right and security. And so nobody has a right to take your life because it's a header. They never bring up that one. Then the second one will be, There's a right, there's an ECOWAS protocol, there's this and that. And of course, when that doesn't go on, the next one they will now say is, okay, there is a Land Use Act. And this act vests all powers of the of right to land in the governors. And so I was simply trying to tell everybody, these are the issues that we must have to deal with. How do we?
So Biafrans, please, this is the reason ESN was created, and the reason Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, and the reason they went to his house to kill him, and they ended up killing more than 28 people. This is not the news we truly come today, but since you know, we have multiple news we are bringing to the public. So no matter how, we have the news. So just bear with me to bring it up. Okay, these people, when you will go on until I bring it out.
Get the governors to buy to this, so that if somebody needs land, the governor will give him once is for ranching.
Right.
Precisely. And we can't run away from this. But then, if we go back in time, this is a matter that we raised a long time.
Maybe. Yes. Yes. We have it.
On one hand and security forces on the other, there's a new push for a way out of the crisis before it's too late. Dozens of federal lawmakers from the House of Representatives across party and ethnic lines have written to President Tinubu urging him to set Mr. Kanu free and discontinue his trial. They say they are increasingly convinced that this will dramatically lessen the hum of mutual suspicion and lead to the restoration of peace in the southeast. So what kind of response are they likely to get from the Tinubu administration? And how much would the lid be let off the gunpowder if Mr. Kanu remains in detention for the foreseeable future? Well, one of those whose voice is loudest in the chorus of demands for the release of Nnamdi Kanu is the member of the House of Representatives for the federal constituency of Ikwa Umar here, under the Labour Party, Honourable Obi Agwocha, and he joins me now in the studio.
Hello, Charles.
Thank you.
So, Biafrans, thank you for the patience you have. Thank you for the patience you have. We must make this message direct. We must direct this message how we want it. Our Prime Minister says we will organize ourselves and control the media. We control Biafran Liberation Army, asymmetric warfare, and everything that is going on. We will do it on our own way, the way it will favor us. So thank you for staying back. Thank you for staying here until this thing is done. And we can see Emi Same. It is now clear when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said that senators has no right to bail him. Yes, now senators have no right to bail him. Yes, it is clear. If it is not because of activity of Mazen Simon Ekpa, nobody will even be talking about the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And this law you see today that come up, everything you are seeing happening has a place where it started. It doesn't just come out of the blue. It came because something happened. Ndị Igbo used to say, ihe na-akụ n'ihe were eme. ihe na-akụ n'ihe were eme. Something happens for something to happen, and we must continue keeping the record straight in this program, in this platform, because we are 555 vision, Biafran gospel and the Bible. Things that has happened and the things that is happening in this movement. That is what we are preaching. And as we are preaching it, we have to let you know how all this confession starts, where it started, where it generated from, and why it is in our favor today. Today, they are now begging Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to keep Nigeria one. Destruction of Nigeria is in the hands of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is the reason His Excellency Obato Obie, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko, says that when they release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has to come to Finland for a physical talk. Then they will talk. Then whatever they agree, whatever the two agree, then we will come here and tell you people why. Are you understanding? Because after much, what do we want? We want this flag to shine and fly again. Are you getting it? So before everything, let us continue to keep the record very, very straight. And Nnamdi Amade is still telling you, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, and do everything needful. We must go here. We must. It is a must. Keeping the things the way it's supposed to be.
Have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense, these principles are universal and we must uphold them. International law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs.
This is our global responsibility. This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs.
This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs.
Our global responsibility.
Our global responsibility. Our global.
And everywhere in the world, this is our global responsibility.
Our global responsibility. His Excellency Prime Minister Obato Obie Simon Ekpa has made the whole world to sit up. You know what is sitting up? The wave of the dragon. He said when the time comes, he will become like a beast. Then Kamala Harris have to come now and recognize that the world have to stand up for their own global responsibility, and the self-preservation is our right. Before these lawyers now came up to be doing whatever they are doing, they are the people that signed for extradition of Nnamdi Kanu. They are the people that signed Operation Python Dance. They are the people who signed to legalize every Southern person, every Igbo person, indigenous people of Biafra as a terrorist. But the wave of the dragon and the fire of the dragon has shaken the White House itself. That is what you see in this place. Because we are not putting word inside anybody's mouth.
A right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights.
They have the right to choose their own alliances. they are on a reliable alliance.
Governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished.
Government must to protect, and the rule of law must to be cherished.
Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN
Sovereignty and the territorial integrity must be respected all over the world.
Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human
Territorial integrity, everything we are fighting for is here.
dignity, and the right to self-defense. These
The
principles
right
are
for self-defense. The right for self-defense.
the right to self-defense. These principles are universal, and you must uphold them.
These principles we are living upon today is global responsibility. Listen to it again.
Are universal, and you must uphold them. International law must be protected always, and international law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. Ambiguity in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world.
In Ukraine, in Biafra, everywhere in the world. In Ukraine, in Biafra, everywhere in the world. International law must to be protected. And that is what you see that is coming now.
In the Middle East and everywhere in the world, this is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation.
Global
And everywhere in the
responsibility.
world, this is our duty. In Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world, this is our global responsibility.
Global responsibility has come. That is why this lawyer now organized Nigerian lawmakers to come, because self-preservation is what you are hearing.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Self-preservation must be protected at all costs.
Self-preservation must to be protected at all costs. Are you getting it very, 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 very clear? And as we are going on with another program, we must welcome Divine Precious that is here. We must read that Nnamdi Amadi says, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the prophet Elijah of our time, Jesus of our time. Simon Ekpa is the prophet Elijah of our time, and the Biafra is a foregone collusion. Then Ngozi Moran, bam, complete. Then Chibuike Emmanuel, my brother, good morning from here as well. Then Kelechi Obiora Timothy, our leader must be released as well as others in the zoo. Then Valentine Clement, our leader, our prime minister said he came to make history. Now when they utter what our war is. Our prime minister only came to make history, and truly, he has made a history by shaking the world and letting them know that we have the right to choose our way of living. Are you understanding? He have shaken White House. In White House, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Obama, and the members of the House of Assembly in Washington, D.C., they go on a round table, they put the picture of our prime minister, this man you are seeing in this place now. They put his picture, they begin to analyze him. You understand? And the one thing is this, His Excellency Obatobi, Prime Minister, says he only come to make history because Musa knew that he is living in a comfortable home. Ifeanyi Uba said he is living in a very comfortable home. that he sits up there with gold and diamond in front of his table, sitting comfortably, that everything is there. He returned 3 medal, a gold medal he won for Nigeria because he is living large. What is his own intention? He said that he only come to make history. That Joe Biden will talk about him, Obama will talk about him, Putin will talk about him, every president in this world will talk about him, Macron will talk about him, Lopez will talk about him, every president you can mention in this world will talk about him. And the lobby members say, when America stand up, others follow. And why are we doing this thing is because Lolo Ego Yibo has just entered. Lolo Ego Yibo, sometimes I make mistake to call Lolo Norma and Lolo Ego Yibo. Everybody is Lolo Ndibo. Then we continue. And Chebe Sunday, welcome, Valentine. Our PM said, yes, yeah, we read it before. Onyebuchi Dominic, the zoo thought everyone is illiterate. That is what they thought. That is why we are here dismantling them. Divine Precious. People ran away from the truth because it is naked. But now the revise has become the case. You understand? Then Owen Palace. Truth is the life. We all know that. That is why PM is moving all over the world. Nobody can stop him. Freedom is taken. Then we are going, Jan, we are going, Moran, Wilson, Nnamdi. We will bring everybody's message up because of tomorrow. Nigeria is just holding a child's toy up, and they will soon drop their arms because it is penning them. Hey, okundigbo lolo ego oyibo. Onye ji ihe nwata welie aka elu, aka jibe ya, o wetu aka, nwata ewere ihe ya wee na-aga. And that now is bringing us to where we are really going. You see the lawyer who is leading this thing. For you to know, Grace Omoboya, self-preservation must to be protected, quoted by my PM Simon Ekpa, the great. So it will stand. Stella Azoka, thank you. Now we have to then go to the place where we have come to. Bringing the message raw.
Thank you very much indeed.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you wearing a suit.
Yeah, I look different.
I'm not used to seeing you in a suit.
Without my LP logo.
Yeah,
but I'm still Labour Party for life.
Okay, well, just in case we forgot, eh? So basically, your calculation, along with those of your colleagues, is that it is not in the interest of the Southeast or the Nigerian people or the security forces or the Tinubu administration itself to keep Nnamdi Kanu locked up. Tell us why.
Well, first of all, thank you again for inviting me. On Friday, many lawmakers in the House of Representatives, we met and agreed that the best solution is to appeal to the government of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who incidentally is my constituent. I represent him at the House of Representatives. He's from Umuahia North. I'm from Umuahia North. So it is my responsibility, as I've always done since I came to the House of Representatives, to speak for him. Where nobody else would, I would speak for him. And many others in that gap where there exists any perception of injustice or tribal discrimination in the administration of justice. Nnamdi Kanu has remained locked up despite so many court judgments in his favor. The Supreme Court held that everything should go back to the lower trial court. Now, we've been shouting to say there ought to be a political solution to this issue. And the last appearance in court, Justice Binta and Yako actually came up with a solution and said all parties should at least submit themselves to a political solution.
Right. So you're encouraged by that.
I am more than
statement
encouraged
by
by
the
that.
Federal
Yes,
High Court,
of course,
urging both parties to explore
Yes,
negotiation and the possibility of a settlement.
a settlement. And I'm also more encouraged simply because the prosecutor in this wise, the Attorney General of the Federation, being represented by a prosecutor there, accepted to such settlement. The council
Well, they accepted to discuss.
to discuss.
Right.
The council to Nnamdi Kanu also accepted. So both parties have accepted. It is only now within the time allowable to the time Justice Nyako gave for the resumption of trial,
Right.
which is September 24th. So we are moving the political consideration to move it forward so that that could be
Right.
some negotiations worthy enough for the consideration of the trial judge.
Although to be fair, the lawyer representing the government made it clear that it wasn't within his remit, and that they would have to go directly to the Attorney General.
Of
and
course.
Obviously, it would be up to but the Attorney
Of
General
course.
hasn't responded
Well,
yet.
the Attorney General has not responded yet.
Yeah.
But the Attorney General also takes instruction from the Commander-in-Chief, President and Commander-in-Chief. So that was why we were appealing to the Commander-in-Chief to direct the Attorney General to invoke Section 174 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic as amended, Section 174(1)(c), Section 174, subsection 1(c), and subsection 3, basically talks about the powers of the Attorney General, that an Attorney General at any time before a judgment is rendered has the authority or the power to be able to withdraw his suit. So we want him to take care of that, and also to invoke Section 107 and Section 108 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, which basically talks about discontinuance of a criminal case and the withdrawal from prosecution. So we believe...
and they withdraw from persecution. And they withdraw from persecution. Truly, they have been using Biafra weight to be sponsoring henchmen. Time has come for them to vomit what they have swallowed. God have made it to Biafra. You see it, Okafor Joseph. Then, and why are they invoking this thing? It is because
have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN Charter.
You get it? Who made it possible? PM. So we have to be doing this jingle, okay? So that people will be joining it. This is 555 Vision. This is how we do it, because we know the game. We just decided.
There has been a precedent set
Right.
in other cases whereby recently the chairman of Metiala was at the determination of the court. His matter was settled. Sunday Iboho, at the determination of the court, his matter was gone. So at the determination of the court, and rightfully so, his matter were gone. Emefiele, I keep pronouncing his name wrong, the former CBN governor, was granted bail. Emefiele was granted bail. It now appears that as if Nnamdi Kanu, who was also charged alongside these other people for the same treason, appears that there is one set of rules for the rest of Nigeria and one set of rules for an Igbo man. And there is also one set of rules where a Northerner is freed, a Yoruba man is freed, a South man is freed, and then when it comes to the Igbo man, he will continue to languish in prison. So there's an issue of injustice, regardless of the expectation of bias that people may have regarding Nnamdi Kanu or not. Is it material, is inconsequential? But in this country, everyone is subject to the rule of law. And I'm so happy that Justice Nyako recognizes that and has given an opportunity for all the parties to come together. And we're appealing to the president. I have known the president to be a listening and attentive president, and that I would not wish to see the president to do otherwise. Doing otherwise will render the Southeast to continue to be savaged by bloodshed. Every single day, many people, scores of people are being killed mercilessly in the Southeast, including military officers. The high level of crime and criminality, banditry, assassination, and kidnapping continues to be the order of the day.
And these people are all taking advantage.
This is all taking advantage of the incarceration of Mr. Kanu.
Right.
Because all these people are agitating that he's still there. But once we remove Mazi Kanu from de facto, then it's a lot easier to know those who are benefiting economically.
He say, once they remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out of that place, then everything will then sit. Then I have to really put this thing the way it's supposed to be going, you know, so that when you are giving the testimony of Biafra, how Biafra come and how it's being fought, you will not make mistake. You will not make a mistake. You will tell the people exactly how it happened. You will tell people exactly how it happened, because we are doing it our own way. We control the media. We control the media. So, listen, please.
Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die.
When they remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from that place without giving him Biafra, you understand? This nonsense, we don't need nonsense again. You understand? So, Mazi Simon Ekpa said, we will make the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu useless in the hands of those that kidnapped him. Welcome, Onstead. Thank you for that. Chris Smart. I thank God for bringing Simon Ekpa into this struggle. If not, none of them will be talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because they thought kidnapping him would end the struggle. Ekpa Ebudike, you understand? He is watching, and you can send him your message. Hit the like button as we proceed to this.
Economically from crime in the Southeast and
that's
making Southeast ungovernable, and a lot of people are not going home now.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that nettlesome question in a moment, but let's just go through what the action that you have taken, and you're one of those who spearheaded that action in the National Assembly. This letter calling for Nnamdi Kanu's release has considerable multi-party support, doesn't it? With lawmakers from the APC,
from
PDP,
PDP, Labour,
APGA,
everybody.
Yeah, and even NNPP.
NNPP,
right. And there seems to be an urgency to your call for Kanu's release. I think you mentioned some of that, but just tell us a bit more about what spurred you and your colleagues into action at this time.
Well, what spurred me, like I said somewhere, was that I was elected a member of the Federal House of Representatives. And through my campaign, I ran on one single issue, that I would not be shut up in seeking the fundamental right of Nnamdi Kanu and others in that gap. And I've demonstrated that from day one. I've questioned everybody that needs to be questioned. I've lobbied everybody that needs to be lobbied. I've consistently made my case for it.
Well, would you lobby in the same way for someone who is not from your constituency,
yes,
or who's not from the Southeast?
I'm a member of the National Assembly, and that's what it means, that I'm not just there.
So you're there to stand for
justice.
Right.
I want to stand for justice. So, but in this wise is Nnamdi Kanu and the sensitivity of it. Now, my colleagues honored me by accepting to be a part of this. I could have easily done it alone, which would not be successful. I could have also done it through other caucuses, which would not be successful. But this is for the first time that Nigeria is asking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, as been demonstrated by the members of the Federal House of...
You hear what he said there? That Nigeria at large, indigenous people of Nigeria, the indigenous people of Nigeria is asking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Indigenous people of Nigeria is asking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Sowore said they hold Nnamdi Kanu hostage because he demanded for freedom. The middle belt rely on Biafrans to free them. The Numpe people, the Hausa people, rely on Nnamdi Kanu to free them as the light of Africa. Then, in everything we are doing today, it has come to the notice of the whole world that Nnamdi Kanu is that Jesus. They say he will come back again, and when he come, the judgment will start. When he come, then the judgment will start. And in the book of Revelation, they say that day of the judgment, onye ukwu ya na-agba ọsọ, onye nta ya na-agba ọsọ. Indeed, our PM bụ Okoro okpo gbagoro ha n'olu. They cannot vomit, they can't swallow, they can't do anything. That is from Amy Samin. Then, after the death of his parents and the Biafrans, you are saying political solution. This is precious Amazon. You people understand that you people must know that what we are doing in this place, if it is not bearing mighty fruit, I have other things I will invest my time for. But these people are thinking that Nnamdi Kanu will come out, and they begin to talk about a political solution. When the parents, Israel, died in the hands of the Nigeria, his father, his mother, Nnamdi Kanu say, do you know how I love my father? Do you know how I love my mother? And you kill them, I will destroy you. It is here, So let them continue, let them bring him out for peace to reign. And why you see all this thing that is happening now? They brought out this man from Umuahia. Then they made him the judge. He said he cannot do it alone. He better call upon those that is looking for freedom. And please let us hear him where he said that Nigerians call for the release.
Successful. I could have also done it through other caucuses which will not be successful. But this is for the first time that Nigeria is asking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, as been demonstrated by the successful. I could have also done it through other caucuses which will not be successful. But this is for the first time that Nigeria is asking.
This is the first time Nigerians. Now, you see our topic today. Nigerians are asking for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Simon Ekpa Nwanjoko Obatu Ubie, Ekpoke 1, the taproot is unstoppable. Now you are seeing it. Now they are all smelling what Simon Ekpa said. Isn't it expensive and useless to Nigeria today? Lolo Ego Yibo is asking this question. Ngozi Moron, Hell Biafra. Festus, I thank you. Ofoeke Joseph, I am very excited. I appreciate our PM. I thank everybody that is supporting Biafran freedom. Thank you. Then, Anechebe, thank you. Moran. Then we continue. We have a system on how we come to do this thing today. Oh. Respect the rule of law. Respect the rule
Alliances. There are inalienable rights. Have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights. Governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN.
Nigeria, we have to go there.
Be successful. I could have also done it through other caucuses which will not be successful. But this is for the first time that Nigeria is asking for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, as been demonstrated by the members of the Federal House of Representatives representing various constituencies across Nigeria, coming together on this sensitive issue.
And how many are they? I mean, because initially, I think the newspapers were, some said 43, others said 50 lawmakers coming together.
Honestly, it must have been typographical error. The number is actually 50 that have signed, ready to go.
Right.
But because that we are on recess, we believe we will resume back plenary on or about July 2nd. And today we have commitment that would actually put that number over 150 honorable members all across political divides, all across the nation.
That's a sizable
House of Representatives representing various constituencies across Nigeria, coming together on this sensitive issue.
And how many are they? I mean, because initially, I think the newspapers were, some said 43, others said 50 lawmakers coming together.
Honestly, it must have been typographical error. The number is actually 50 that have signed, ready to go.
Right.
But because that we are on recess, we believe we will resume back plenary on or about July 2nd. And today we have commitment that would actually put that number over 150 honorable members all across political divides.
Are you hearing how the kidnap of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has become very, very useless in the hands of the terrorist Nigeria? Are you hearing it? He says that for now, the people that have signed are 50 in number. But before July, there will be more than 150 lawmakers ready and committed to sign for one man. They all gathered to kidnap because of the fear of Obatu Ubie, Ekpoke, Nwanjoko, the dragon himself. You know, and why are they doing all this thing? Because we must be doing the thing according to the direction of Chukwukike Abiyama.
Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense. These principles are universal and we must uphold them. International law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
The global responsibilities This is the global responsibilities. Emma, we are coming small, small. I say Nanko is coming. We are putting it how everybody will get it very, very well. Our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu prophesied this too, that there will be a time that the whole world will be talking about us. And it is happening now. You can read it. You know, the way we say it yesterday, that is how we say it today. And the same way we are saying it, we will say it tomorrow. We never change. Godwin, Mweke, thank you for joining. Please, if you have not hit the like button, hit it. If you have not shared, share it, or remember some group where you have to put it on. More than 150 lawmakers are ready to sign before July runs out. You understand now? Musa is crying. Senators are crying. Governors are crying just because our PM made the kidnap of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu very so cheap. Continue. You know, every Samuel, when you are here, you set the music, you will just set the program. Nigeria, under the rule of the Fulanis, will never ever respect the rule of law. They don't believe in law because they are lawless nomadic people. It is in their blood and they can never be washed out. Ya bụ lọlọ ego oyibo, ya okwu ndị nne ụmụada na-aba. They stand up, they tell you enough is enough. And as we are going on, Chima Irechukwu, the big pastor, is also here listening. Chima Irechukwu, we welcome you. Thank you so much. Because not only 50 lawyers are ready to sign for the man they kidnapped. More than 150 are preparing to put down their signature while we are preparing lobbies in Washington. So who didn't hear it, please, some people come in.
A second. And today we have commitment that would actually put that number over 150 honorable members all across political divides, all across the nation.
That's a sizable number.
Of course, to demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
And
I'm highly honored by that.
Yeah, and you called, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, for the Attorney General to discontinue the case based on sections of the Nigerian Constitution,
Yeah, not just, but for public interest.
Right,
for
yeah,
public
but I need to get to a point here, because you're saying that section, I think it's section 174, gives him the power to end the trial in the public interest, in the interest of justice, and the need to prevent abuse of legal
That is section. Let us hear it. You know, they remove history, they remove everything. Nobody knows the rule of law. Nobody read the book code, codigo numbers. Then now we are being forced to hear those code numbers. You know, Nigeria, as a law legal Igbo right in this place, Nigeria is a lawless country where president is above law, where somebody will go and arrest somebody just because he has money more than that person. You will arrest a person, you call police, you say, police, arrest this person just because you have money. Today, Obatobie has put everything to a stop. And then Chimerechukwu, the way they gathered to kidnap our leader, that's they will gather to sign for his release. Automatic. Are you hearing it? Chimerechukwu said it here now. All the people that gathered together and they signed for going to Kenya to kidnap the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, controlling more than 80 million people all over the world. You go and they kidnap him, you think all of us will keep quiet like the DOS. No. Now, listen again. We are here to
And I'm highly honored by that.
Yeah, and you called, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, for the Attorney General to discontinue the case based on sections of the Nigeria.
For the Attorney General to discontinue the section, anything that contain arrest of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, discontinue it, discharge him, acquit him, compensate him, give him oil, pipe, and well, how you care. But whenever they finish, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will come out. We will listen to him. When we listen to him, he will go to Finland and meet His Excellency Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko Obata Obie 1. You understand? Then our PM say they are reminding everything. We tell you that this thing is the gospel. This is not that the book of John say, the book of Matthew say. What are we reading here now is the gospel of Biafra. And that is why we are 555 vision, Biafra gospel and the Bible. Chetara ya okwu ọnụ ya n'ihe o kwere na nkwa. Ọ ga-eme ya, Simon ga-emere gị ya. Our PM says from the mouth of Annette Wizu, our PM said that he will make the kidnap of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu very expensive for them to continue to hold him. Ekpoke is on it now. What they are now pleading to release him. Why we are moving forward ever, backward never. Our eyes are no longer on the ball. Our eyes are on the rising sun. Emisami, our eyes on the rising sun. That is why we are now challenging all the journalists. That is what we are doing, because our eyes is on the rising sun. How do you place your eyes on the rising sun? These journalists, the brown envelope journalists, they are using to tell the Biafran wrong story. We are here to put it right. And for people who don't know how we do our thing and how we are analyzing things in this place, why are they coming, and why is it that the lawmakers are now coming? Nobody, voluntary. Nigeria has no law. That's why all Biafra must be held for order to learn and how we are, that we are not joking. Okay? Nobody is, in Nigeria, nobody will do anything without you paying. But today, 50 lawmakers already volunteer to work voluntarily, just like when you go to Biafran government in exile, everybody is working voluntarily. Nigeria now, those criminals, they are now volunteering to come and do the job, which they are receiving salary for. It's like when you go to the NEPA office to pay NEPA, they will take bribe. But government is paying them. You are paying tax, which they were supposed to use to pay the person in the electric office tax, his salary. They will take bribe from you. Today, these lawyers are no more taking bribe, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu say time will come when Nigerian journalists, Nigerian Biafran courts will take over their media, and they will be forced to talking about Biafra. The whole world will be forced to talking about Biafra. No one will pay them dime. Can anybody reach them and ask the lawyers, did anybody pay them money to come and stand for this justice you are now seeing? Egon Tiala. Yeah, I think this name is new. Ototo. Thank you. We are very lucky to have all of you. The hand of God is upon Biafra. Thank you. Then, Joseph, Our PM and our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu are too much to be used by Nigeria. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said that these people, they don't, nomadic people, they don't go to school. And some Igbo people that is going there working for them, they are the brand envelope. We classify them as educated, illiterate people. Biafra Tam TV, original savior. Biafran Tam TV, original savior is already with us. Both people are still waiting for another one to come. Nnamdi Kanu is the savior. They say he will come, and when he come, he will return like a thief. He will return like a criminal. Nobody will know that he is here until he will survey everywhere. And remember, only a criminal knows how to catch a criminal. You understand? If you are a criminal in paper and pen, in law, somebody will become a criminal to debunk it. Nnamdi Kanu, the Jesus of our time, they say he will return like a thief. Now he returned. Only a criminal knows how to catch a criminal. Maazị Simon Ekpa is also a criminology in Europe here. He is working under CIA also in Europe here, and he is also working under human rights organization. And he studied international law with a certificate. Then that is why now I have been provoked to make sure we bring this thing this way, so that people will know exactly more of it.
International law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Today, the Biafra Liberation Army have neutralized dozens of these terrorists in our land, and we are proud of them. They will continue to go down. Our demand is very simple. Pull them out of Biafra land. Remove every checkpoint. If you do not dismantle all the checkpoints, they will continue to die. We will continue to excel. We will continue to deal with Nigeria, and Nigeria will never ever remain the same until Biafra exits from Nigeria. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence in self-defense. So I told them, oh my God, here is not taken. I will turn to a beast and Biafra will come. Nigeria has no rule of law. Their rule of law is gun and bullet. And we have...
Yes. In case you are joining us new in this program, 555 Vision program, this is how we are analyzing it. When they say something, we bring to you, because you bring something and jam in something for that something to become something. The reason the Nigerian court, the most corrupt country in the world, Nigeria, the lawyers are volunteering themselves now to come and sign for the same person they signed to kidnap. They are now turning back to sign for his release. And we are here analyzing it because self-preservation is your right. You understand? Emisami. What people do not know is that our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, even in DSS custody, he is praying for our PM to stand firm on what he is doing. Spiritual country, the physical of if you know. Maazị Simon Ekpa says that he go inside the DSS dungeon, he will pick information from our leader, and when he come out, he will make it public to our people. You understand? And everything is working amicably. Then we have to continue to what we are doing. Remember here now that 50 lawmakers already signed, and they are waiting in waiting list. About 150 lawmakers are signing for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the light of Africa, because they know that if they make this mistake, Fulani will finish all of them under the law of depopulation agenda. Under the law of depopulation agenda, that is where Fulanis are operating. Any place the Fulanis come across, that place will be depopulated. Fulanis are what they called virus in a human form. Virus in a human form. That is what Fulani represent as human being that have leg. You understand? You must have virus in anything you do in this life. So Fulanis represent virus in a human form. That is what you have to know. And when you know this, then you begin to know peace. You understand? So let us know if we can get it back. We come here.
A second. And today we have commitment that would actually put that number over 150 honorable members all across political divides, all across the nation.
Well, that's a sizable number.
Of course, to demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
And
I'm highly honored by that.
Yeah, and you called, I mean, you mentioned
they will come and demand for the release of the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, the light of Africa. Are you understanding the weight? Are you understanding the weight? And if they fail to do so, what is awaiting them? What is that is awaiting them? There is something that is awaiting them. Something is really awaiting them if they fail to. If they fail to do the needful, are you hearing it?
Not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die. I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back. Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die. I swear to God Almighty in heaven.
And you know why we are bringing this thing like this? These journalist people should know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu drop every message before going to lead in front. He himself say that he is tired of broadcasting. He is going to face these people. And today, listen. Emisami, everybody knows how we are doing this thing. My blood brother, I want to ask you this question. If there is no PM, what could have been the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? This is a question that came from one of our strong men, Emisami. If there is no PM, what could have been the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Then, in this 555 vision, we told Biafrans that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu need Simon Ekpa more than Simon Ekpa need him. Emisami, I hope I'm answering that question, and I want to, if Somudu is still here, let him copy it. We said with this face, Emisami asked the question, please. And he asked, let me bring it. If there is no Simon Ekpa, what could have been the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? And the answer is, we made a video before, we told you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu need Simon Ekpa more than Simon Ekpa need him. because they brought Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria for elimination. Nnamdi Kanu, they brought him back to Nigeria for treasonable felony. Nigeria would have implemented all the charges. If they can go as far as kidnapping him, breaking international law by kidnapping him down to Nigeria, they would have destroyed him. And Chinasa Nworu the other day say if they kill him, nobody, they can only shout for like 3 months and the matter will be buried. So, Emisame, that is the answer. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu need Simon Ekpa more than Simon Ekpa need him. And Ikenguru Ago says that he has a journalist that is very, very close there. That journalist told him that nothing in this life will ever make Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to speak against the prime minister where he have his shade. And the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu can never speak against the Igbo people, neither speaking against Simon Ekpa, because he and Simon Ekpa has reached an agreement. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu made the prime minister to take oath, and the Nigerian news have they have it in their own news. Daily Post, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu made him to take oath, and the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu made me speaking here to take oath. And under the oath, we told you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu needs Simon Ekpa more than Simon Ekpa even need him. Without Simon Ekpa, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Fulani will pay repercussion of what they are accusing Ndi Igbo at large by killing Sultana of Sokoto, which news have it that Iwe Anyanwu was about to go and pledge guilty. They will use Mazen Nnamdi Kanu as a repercussion over it, because right from time they say Igbo Anweze, and the Fulani newspaper and the Nigerian newspaper has come and they confirm that for a very long time Igbos say they don't have king, they have no leader. But Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the true leader of Igbo people. Not only the true leader of the Igbo people, the true leader of the Biafran people at large, and again, the lawmakers in Nigeria at large is coming together to sign and they legalize him as the true leader of Nigeria. Remember, when they arrested him before, they promised him to take a vice president position in Nigeria. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu say he can never be a slave under Fulani. So, if there is no Simon Ekpa, he is under captive. And Simon Nnamdi Kanu say, when he was going to lead in front, he said, "Oh Lord, unto your hand I commit my spirit. I am going. Those who is being prepared for this war, this message is for you." And that is why all of us is here. Thank you, Emisame, for the question. Copy it, send it to anywhere. And today, the lawmakers is here recognizing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu as the only true leader. They will promise Nnamdi Kanu to become Nigerian president only to remain that name. Again, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu says his job is to make sure that that name called Nigeria cease to exist. And that name will enter history, just like you read Babylon in the Bible, a place that have existed. And that name, the mission of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is to destroy that name called Nigeria, because he say that anybody who try to keep Nigeria as one is as a fool as anything. Destruction of Nigeria is his own motto. And without PM, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the prophecies of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will not be fulfilled. Since the prophecies of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the only thing remaining is the restoration of Biafra and the disintegration of Nigeria. The only thing. Do you think this is not a? Do you think we are going to stop now? That is what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, and for that reason, we have to ask him a little.
Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back. Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back. Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back.
We are coming. We are coming. Okay? We are coming.
Earlier for the Attorney General to discontinue the case based on sections of the Nigerian Constitution,
not just, but for public interest.
Right.
For
yeah,
public
but I need to get to a point here, because you're saying that section, I think it's section 174, gives him the power to end the trial in the public interest, in the interest of justice, and the need to prevent abuse of legal process. And you believe that Nnamdi Kanu's case meets those criteria?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
I'm highly honored by that.
Yeah, and you called, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, for the Attorney General to discontinue the case based on sections of the Nigerian Constitution,
not just, but for public interest.
Right. Yeah, but I need to get to a point here, because you're saying that section, I think it's section 174, gives him the power to end the trial in the public interest.
Please, if you are here, this section 174 gave him power to end any investigation and anything coming up against Nnamdi Kanu.
In the interest of justice and the need to prevent abuse of legal process.
For them, the reason they are implementing this section 174 is for them to escape the abuse of power. That is the thing. That is the thing. And if they try contrary, this await them.
This can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back.
The reason they are doing what they are doing now, because Obata Obie Abadoko Fanolu, Obata Obie Jihanolu, and for Tinubu and all the lawmakers to escape what is coming from the lobby members that is in the White House today in America, they have no option more lawmakers is still coming to sign, because the ambassador for global peace, His Excellency Obatobie Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, is in charge. Are you getting it very, very clear? Try to get it very, very clear, so that when we are doing this thing, we will know that we are getting it well. We continue.
And you believe that Nnamdi Kanu's case meets those criteria?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we expect that the Attorney General, in consideration of this plea, having set precedents as well, in many other cases that I've just mentioned,
right,
cannot come to Nnamdi Kanu's case and do otherwise. Nnamdi Kanu deserves the protection of the laws of the Federation, and like I said, every subject of Nigeria, has a constitutional right and due process.
And just to re-point here, because you're saying that that section, I think it's section 174, gives him the power to end the trial in the public interest, in the interest of...
Please, do you know what the lawyer says here now? What the lawyer just said here now, what the lawyer said in this place, the lawyer now says that this law they are going to implement now to free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is going to prevent, just like what happened when they freed him before, Nigerian government has to come under Operation Python Dance to deal with him. This is what this law is talking about. This law now they are implementing now. This law is like Nnamdi Kanu will be 100% free. They will give him every manner of security he needs as a human being, and nobody will ever try to come close to him, just like they did before. Are you getting it? Yes, it is very clear. Thank you for confirming. Amy Sami, I want to ask another question, my blood brother. Why is it now that our PM shows up on these last days? I understand that they are full in number. Ojukwu, Owazurike, our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, and our Prime Minister, the last. We are children of God. Emisame, we are children of God. Ojukwu, Eke, Orie, Owazurike, Nnamdi Kanu, Afo, Simon Ekpa Nkwo. 4 elements that gathered this universe. Eke, Orie, Afo, Nkwo. The sun, the water, the sand, and the air. 4 elements that covers this universe found in Biafran land. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu says, if you know that your mother tied 2 wrapper and in your village you have 4 market days, that this message is for you. Again, history have it that if Igbos dominate everywhere in Nigeria, Fulanese came from Futajelon. Nigeria belonged to Igbos because Igbos are the first people found in that territory. Agurese Ejebendi Igbo, the ancient people of this very planet Earth, and someone must stand and finish the game. Ekoria Fonkwo. We cannot miss it. Again, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu say, this generation of me and you, Amy Sami, Uchenna, Chikezie, Collins Steve, Precious Ekpa, and Precious Ekpa, everybody that is here, Lolego Yibo, Wisdom Wizzy, everybody that is here. If Chris Biafran song, if this our generation fail to restore Biafra now, forget about it. Just go and give yourself to court, because the agenda of Fulanis is just to cut you, not to send you exile, not to enslave you. Their own is just to cut you, eliminate that race. So, my brother, the answer to your question is Simon Ekpa is the end. His name is Taproot, the end of all corruption. And those who is not really understanding what is happening is that the lawmakers knows there is a news we have and we don't know who deleted it. One of the journalists came, he said that the Simon Ekpa has taken IPOB from nothing to something, going as far as creating government in exile, having a government in exile. And when you go to the people that is working under lobby, they said that Simon Ekpa outsmarted Nigerian government by creating government in exile and building allies all over the world, having liaison offices everywhere. He outsmarted them. So these lawmakers that destroy Nigeria already knew that Simon Ekpa is now having the emblem, the logo of the ambassador for peace, covering the universe where they are living into. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Trump, Putin, all of them is aware that Simon Ekpa is the person that is having the global ambassador of peace. Those things covers everything, and he studied international law, a human rights activist, and he say he is your last bus stop. That is why you see Kamala Harris, she came up and they say activation of self-defense. You understand? Then what do we have here? Colin Steve, yeah, 555 Vision. Gratitude from University of Radio of PhD. Yes, thank you. Lord Lego Yibo. For our 4 market days was completed with our PM. Yes, Emisame, question Uchana Abia. Lord Lego Yibo have just answered your question in a very simple form, not to even to stress ourselves again. The statement you made was said by our reporter in TVC. Please, Uchenna, Chikezie, please, I need that video. I don't know how it was deleted. I need it to couple up our freedom movement because we are keeping record. Put it in warrior, Biafran warrior, IPOB, this thing. That one, Sumudu is the coordinator in that place. Let me try to tell you, please. Biafran media warriors, please send it there, or any of our platform. You can send it to IPOB worldwide. You can also send it to Be Your Brother's Keepers. You can also send it to IPOB Dragon or Dortmund Media. Send it any of this place because I need it. I need that thing, please. It is very, very necessary. That is the way you see that you are doing something very, very important now. This thing is not just for us. We continue. This is what will happen if they don't stand up for justice. Listen before we continue.
Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back.
Because we are not going back. Then we continue with the news, please. Our time is also running.
Justice and the need to prevent abuse of legal
process.
And you believe that Nnamdi Kanu's
Let me start it
case
from here.
Successful. I could have also done it through other caucuses which will not be successful. But this is for the first time that Nigeria is asking for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, has been demonstrated by the members of the Federal House of Representatives representing various constituencies across Nigeria, coming together on this sensitive issue.
And how many are they? I mean, because initially, I think the newspapers were, some said 43, others said 50 lawmakers coming together.
Honestly, it must have been typographical error. The number is actually 50 that have signed, ready to go.
Right.
But because that we are on recess, we believe we will resume back plenary on or about July 2nd. And today we have commitment that would actually put that number over 150 honorable members all across political divides, all across the nation.
Well, that's a sizable number.
Of course, to demand for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu.
And
I'm highly honored by that.
Yeah, and you called, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, for the Attorney General to discontinue the case based on sections of the Nigerian Constitution,
Yeah, not just, but for public interest.
Right.
For
Yeah,
public
but I need to get to a point here, because you're saying that section, I think it's section 174, gives him the power to end the trial in the public interest, in the interest of justice, and the need to prevent abuse of legal process. And you believe that Nnamdi Kanu's case meets those criteria?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we expect that the Attorney General, in consideration of this plea, having set precedents as well, in many other cases that I've just mentioned, cannot come to Nnamdi Kanu's case and do otherwise. Nnamdi Kanu deserves the protection of the laws of the Federation, and like I said, every subject of Nigeria, has a constitutional right and due process.
And just to reiterate,
do you hear it yourself? Do you hear it yourself? So why we are doing it like this is Amy Same said that the reason he asked this question so that our people will start asking questions, so that we will learn more. Our PM is the finisher, the new dimension our leader spoke about. Are you getting it? Ndị na-ekwere ekwe ekwetego. You understand? Leopardo de Belgium said, when they introduce Christianity in Nigeria, they say, teach them how to read and how to write, just like these journalists you are seeing in this place. These people are the people that is being trained.
That you believe that Mr. Kanu is released.
These people, these journalists you are looking in this place, they are the people that went to school to learn how to read and how to write. They didn't go to school at all to learn how to think and how to ask questions. And that is the reason Amy Same wrote all the questions he is asking. He know the answer, but he want to bring it here. We will bring it to the public. If you are not asking questions, Fulani is there with their knife to finish you up. So we will bring up all our messages as we normally do. Then, as we normally do, MP Many, I don't like listening to our leader again, because when watching his video, sometimes you must share because of his fighting for freedom. Thank you. Then, Ike, one you read the best. Okay, and you too. Ike John. I think by next week or next 2 weeks, Biafra will have Biafra Religious Freedom and the Monitoring have to present traditional worship for Biafra. So, onye ji ofo, ji ihe niile, try to be there. We will announce it when the time will come. So, what they are doing in this place now, is before Nnamdi Kanu will come out, they will give him maximum security. The thing that happened that time will not happen again.
This will help to restore peace in the South.
Absolutely, without any gainsaying.
Right.
Without any gainsaying. If you look at what is happening in the Southeast, like I said, what is the basis of the agitations that are currently going on? First thing they will point is the detention of Nnamdi Kanu. That's the first thing they will point. Now, if we remove Nnamdi Kanu from consideration, then it will make bare those who are enjoying the economic benefits of high level of criminality, banditry and assassination and kidnapping in the Southeast. Like I said to you, the Southeast today, just like every other part of the country, I'm not just isolating the Southeast, but the Southeast today is ravaged by bloodshed. And the president cannot himself say that he's satisfied with an insecure Southeast. Neither the Southeasterners also satisfied with this level of condition going on in the Southeast.
And have you been able to extract a commitment from Mr. Kanu himself about what he'll do and won't do if he's released?
Charles, I am not unmindful that even when we talk about political solutions to this matter, the federal government will have an interest on the terms and conditions of what that political solution will be. And rightfully so. The federal government must have to be assured of certain conditions. Equally, Nnamdi Kanu will also be assured of certain conditions that both parties can agree on.
Yeah, but it helps your case if you can advance it by saying that we've managed to get him to agree not to do
even without me saying that.
Right.
Look at the recent utterances of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has come out and opposed Monday sit-at-homes which have ravaged the economy of the Southeast. He has also opposed all the senseless killings and have said the Igbos cannot continue to kill themselves and expect a change. He has also opposed the high level of crime and criminality that is happening in the Southeast. He's also supported peace in the Southeast. He's also supported economic development in the Southeast, which he put all these things together. On the face value of it, it gives a more value added to this negotiation and to any government to accept. But like I said, I am not unmindful, that everybody will come to the table, but let's adhere to the instructions of the judge and come to the table. And then I'm sure the federal government will have its own conditions. Nnamdi Kanu will have his own conditions. As for me, I'm available as his representatives to be there to advance and facilitate the dialogue at any level.
Right.
That is.
Are you hearing it? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will have his own opinion. Nigeria people will have their own opinion. Remember, the same way they called on Nnamdi Kanu miscreant that time is the same way they are calling our PM today. But what is Biafrans expecting from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? What is that thing Biafra is expecting from Nnamdi Kanu?
Land. I have said it here and it's on record. We will give you all the oil and gas you need for free. We don't need oil and gas. We just want to be free. We're not. Heaven will bear me witness. We are not lazy people. We don't need oil and gas for anything. They can take all the oil and gas that they need. I am a believer in inward investment because I read economics. I know what inward investment will mean. So countries will come to Biafran to invest and to start their factories and their manufacturing base. Their research and development will be there as well. I know what we are. Please, we are not daft. Anybody saying we are not supporting Biafra because we don't know what we are going to get is because you're a fool. We are the foremost capitalists. We believe in private ownership of property. We can never be communists in our lives. It's impossible. We are die-in-the-wood capitalists. So what is your problem? Why won't you let us be? Oh, you are afraid that we will, put a lie to the fact that black people are idiots and can never do anything for themselves. The reason why David Cameron is afraid of Biafra is because they think that if Biafra comes, they won't be feeling big anymore about themselves, immigration. Give us Biafra, you won't have immigration problem anymore. Bring them to Biafra, we'll take them. Everybody. That's how confident we are. I said, Biafra comes, you won't have immigration problem in your life again. Bring everybody to us, we'll take them. Because Biafra will be built in a way that no other African country can ever match up, forever and ever. That foundation, we are laying it now. Where? In your brain. By showing you how to think. To be self-critical. Never feel sorry for yourself. Rise up and keep going. That's how you succeed. As long as you're whiter than white and whiter than snow, of course, that helps too. It does help, as we are here. Because we are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender Biafra or death, as we are here. Because we are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender Biafra or death. We are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender Biafra or death. Because we
Are you following? Are you following? Then Lolego Yibo said something. All these things Nigeria is saying is medicine after death. Biafra have left Nigeria very far behind. You understand? Mazen Nnamdi cannot drop all the message before going there to lead in front. That Monday seat at home is the top notch. You understand? Without a Monday seat at home, you cannot go and consult more 50 people that is already there and expecting more than 150 lawmakers that refuse to keep the law for the first time, the thing that gave birth to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Enough of Nigeria empty promises. Yes. Then, Emisami, it is only the followers of Christ understand the proverb of their maestro. Do you understand when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said in the court, it is what the law says? Yes, not me. So we are going there. Like Ike, we're done. We don't need their security. Our gallant men can protect Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Lolo Noma. They are now seriously discussing about us without getting link. Where is it? Without getting a cent. Mad people. They are doing it free of charge now. Pride will not allow Nigeria admin the current damage happening in Nigeria is spiritually linked to Biafra. Then Malachi also, he said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. Hey, the Biafra not here. Malachi also. So we continue, please. You don't know how
required to reach about a settlement on this matter so that there will be peace in the Southeast and the unconditional discharge of my constituent, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, to go home.
So how do you think President Tinubu will respond to your appeal?
Why wouldn't he respond to that? Does he want to put himself in a situation where one part of the country continues to boil and is unmanageable? Or does he want to put himself in a situation where, as the President and Commander-in-Chief, that the protection of lives and properties, which ought to be his #1 fundamental responsibility, is keeping faith in the Southeast? We cannot continue in the way we are going. Charles, many Southerners cannot go, Southeasterners cannot go home as we speak for fear of being kidnapped, for fear of being assassinated. So the governors are themselves stepping out. to maintain the peace, but we need the federal government to come and do the right thing. And the right thing to do, outside of saying that it is intentional to have an Igbo man continue to lavish in prison, while the same people who have been charged in the same offenses with him, but that are not Igbos, have been given getaway, I don't know how to say it, monopoly.
Get out
Cards.
Right.
And then because he is an Igbo man, then he continues to languish in jail. So at a point, this issue must have to be brought to a closure, and the judge has done all of us a favor to ensure that we seek a political solution and that we work towards it.
Well, you're asking for his unconditional release, but at the same time, you're saying that the federal government will need to set its conditions for his release.
Of course, well, the conditions could be conditions. There are a lot of conditions the federal government can bring to bear. There's also a lot of conditions that Mazen Nnamdi can bring to bear. Mazen Nnamdi can say, well, if you're going to release me, what guarantees do I have that you're not going to rearrest me once I leave the gates of the DSS detention? So this must have to be brought to bear. But unconditional meaning as well, that he's no longer going to be charged for the same offenses that have been lodged against him, which we hope that the Attorney General will make a statement in court or write to the presiding judge. And the law says that once that is entered for discontinuance, then his case must be totally discharged of.
But you are convinced that if he instructs his Attorney General to discontinue the trial and free Nnamdi Kanu, I mean, I keep banging on about this because that's a critical point. It'll usher in a new period of peace
and stability
in the Southeast. The reason I say that is that beyond the fact of what you're talking about, the incarceration of an Igbo person or what, I mean, a lot of Igbo people are the victims of that.
Of course.
In fact, most of them are the victims of
course.
the crime.
Of course.
So they need to know that it will usher in a period of peace in their region and they can all go home and that the situation won't worsen.
Absolutely. I mean, you just said it all. If we free Mazen Nnamdi from detention, the most important thing that will happen in the Southeast is for us to know, like I also said, those who are benefiting economically from the savages of bloodshed, from crime and high criminality, from banditry, assassination, and otherwise minded. They're there. Yeah, there are some foreign elements that are also part of this group. But 90% of those who are committing these high crimes and criminality are from the Southeast themselves.
Right, because obviously we have to be careful that if he's released,
absolutely,
you're not going to have criminals committing crimes in his name.
In his name.
Which would put him in a very difficult situation.
Yeah. So he has a responsibility as well, if released, just like he has made pronouncements against Monday sit-at-homes, which has ravaged the economy. He had made pronouncements against the senseless killings. He has made pronouncements against kidnapping and assassination. He had made pronouncements in favor of peace. He has made pronouncements in favor of economic development of the Southeast. I believe verily that if he comes out and sticks by these things that he has opposed and supported, it will be a new watershed in the Southeast, a turning point, whereby all of us can now begin not just to look at insecurity and security as we are doing currently now, but we will continue to look at it because it's important. But now we'll be looking at economic development of the Southeast, where a lot of employment opportunities to youth will now pull them out of the battleground of insecurity.
But we know that the federal government has in the past stuck to its guns, even when an appeal court dropped all charges against Mr. Kanu. They simply
ignored it.
Explored other legal options, even after it became clear that that extraordinary rendition was seen by experts to have created a permanent barrier.
Not just experts, the Supreme Court ruled against that.
But they believe that it should have created a permanent barrier to his prosecution. But even in the face of that, he was never released.
He was never released. That's what I'm saying. Does it exist in this federal republic that where it matters to an Igbo man, then there are two laws. One for other Nigerians that will have consideration of the administration, whether it be previous administrations or this current administration, and another one just for the Igbo man. What we are saying, due process. Every subject of Nigeria is entitled to due process and protection of the law.
Right.
Nnamdi Kanu is no different, and we must accord to him the same regards, the same opportunities of law as we have given to Sunday Igboho, as we've given to Sawore, as we have given to the chairman of the Metiala, and as we have given to many alleged terrorists, Boko Haram terrorists, that have been released from prison over time. And yet, what crime has Nnamdi Kanu committed that is bigger than what all these other people have committed that doesn't warrant the federal government to be able to look at it favorably and, you know, invoke Section 174 and invoke Section 107 and 108 of the administration of the...
Yes, as we are going forward, our eyes is on the rising sun. And for that reason, journalists, let me tell you, and I will send this message from Happy Ume. Happy Ume said, tell this journalist that the insecurity in the north caused by your terrorist Fulani, in the east, the elected politicians are the one causing crime. Now, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu created Eastern Security Network, and before doing that, he called Ohaneze Ndibo Nneyanwodo. He called all the Eastern governors. He said, Fulanis are coming to kill all of us. You people should do something. Give us security. And the Fulanis begin to kill. They kill our women. They rape them. After raping them, they tear their body in parts and they throw them on the parts on the garden. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cried in the public because of this insecurity that the Nigerian government created by themselves. Insecurity which these law people learn, these lawmakers now cannot even protect or defend because they are benefiting from insecurity happening in Biafran land. They are benefiting from insecurity happening in Nigeria. They themselves created insecurity to cause division that gave birth to divide and rule strategy. But one thing they must know is this, that our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have taught us everything we should know, and he prepared us mentally, and he taught us concerning mental toughness and the mental capability. Go to the north and talk about insecurity, banditry, and ravishing your land. Oko journalists, go there to the north. That is what Happy Ume is telling you, because our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has prepared us mentally before anything that is happening. And here he said,
us to understand this very evening. But there is one thing I want all of us to understand this very evening. We are facing a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within. And we are going to overcome each and every one of these obstacles. That I can assure you, that they may know that the God we worship is an invisible God, not a God that was wrought by the hands of men. For we do not worship idol, and we can never ever worship idol. Is impossible. This very family, this IPOB, belongs to the Most High. And that is how it's going to be until Biafra comes and beyond, to eternity. This evening, I want to place it on record that our enemies are intensifying their attack against us from every corner. I am not saying this as lamentation or complaint. I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. You are being prepared for what is to come.
The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. They are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully. But they have failed very woefully. And they will continue to fail. But I want to tell you that we are getting attacks from everywhere. From everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. Some of you, they will buy some of you over. The spirit of Ekpa, Biasika, and Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over. I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we're doing. You can't. Not in you cannot. Not in 1 trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed Chukwuokike Abiama, the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Ehiri in Aguleri, the same God of Umweri, the same God of Ora-Eri, the same God of Owe-Eri, the same God of Arochukwu, not to be nobody, the true God, one true God. You will know that indeed, not only is he omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies, and we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. That at the end, every glory and adoration will belong to God and not to man. Now let us go and tell you what is happening that some of you do not understand. I want those of you who are hardcore, those who were chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb they were born to do this very work. You must be very, very strong. Because Biafra will open the eyes of black people all over the world. Because Biafra will mean that blacks from America, blacks from the Caribbean, from Southern America, they will all flood into Africa. It will be like the time that Yeshua was born. Biafra is like a light, a beacon. They will follow it. They will say, let us go and see what is happening there. That is what these no-colonialists do not want. They don't want Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. And for us to overcome it, we need to be very strong mentally, mental strength. Just like when you're doing anything in life, and it appears as if you are being buffeted from everywhere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere and to keep going until you overcome. That is the stage we are in right now. To make sure that our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have all that. Our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. They can bribe Facebook. They can buy them off. They can do anything they like. They can come to some of you and bribe you off. They can promise you what you've never had before. They can give you maybe a house in Dubai. They can promise you a vehicle. They can tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything. Tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything. Tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I will tell you why we can't move. I will tell you why we can't move. Oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I want...
You get the point now. You get it now. You get it very, very well. You get it very, very well. So, I was among and never shake, not obedient. You know, when they shake that chaff, many fall into obedience. A lot of them, they fall into obedience. The more they are holding our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, unjustly, and refusing Biafra to go free, the more furiously calamity would fall upon the zoo. You remember, there is a video we played in this place. 7 deadly demons will enter Nigeria. That was 2 years ago. I don't know. Another day, on Sunday, that is when we used to play such. Now we come to finish the program.
Expression of Criminal Justice Act and the Constitution.
So if President Tinubu doesn't respond positively to your call, I know you've expressed optimism, but if he doesn't respond positively to your call, what will be your next move?
There is no next move because I believe he would respond.
No, but just in case he doesn't.
No, I'm just saying, I am optimistic. I am committed. And I am, prepared to continue to be engaged to play this out and positively. Like I said, the options that we had before are not the options we have today.
But I mean, there were appeals to the previous government.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And he didn't.
The options we had before. No, the options we had before are not the options we have today. Today we have an option of the trial judge herself saying, let's take a pause to see whether we can have political negotiation on this. Today we have Nigerian House of Representative members across political parties, across the ethnic divide. It's not all that. Yeah. But
I mean, at the moment, the people who actually signed the document are 50 out of hundreds of lawmakers.
Do you know how long it takes to convince one member, or 2 members, or 10 members to support your bill or to support your motion, let alone to convince 50?
No, I understand that, and you ought to be commended for that. But what about those who oppose his release? I mean, how powerful are their voices and their arguments, and could theirs be bigger than yours?
No, I recognize their voices. I also recognize their concerns. Like they say in America, feel your pain. But your pain cannot be at a level that would suffice that Nnamdi Kanu, having been held back in the same manner others have been held back, but we are released to go about their works of life. And it's still staying there. But what we're also doing is we're not just relying on just members of the House of Representatives. There are ongoing consultations going on now with critical stakeholders. Even some stakeholders we may have had wrongly held perceptions about the way they handled certain issues on this matter. We're talking to them. We're talking to our governors. We're talking to our distinguished senators. We're talking to friends of Igbos to say, please come. Let us all work together for the first time getting an sensitive issue like this that borders
so
on
you're aiming to overwhelm those who oppose it.
Of course.
Because the reason I say that is that Ohaneze Ndibo say there are some governors and National Assembly members, you know, quite powerful people who are working against Mr. Kanu's release.
I wouldn't know that. What
informed
Ohaneze? I wouldn't know what may have informed Ohaneze to make that statement. Of course, you Igbos to say, please come, let us all work together for the first time, getting a sensitive issue like this that borders on.
So you're aiming to overwhelm those who oppose it.
Of course.
Because the reason I say that is that Ohaneze Ndibo say there are some governors and National Assembly members, you know, quite powerful people who are working against Mr. Kanu's release.
I wouldn't.
Do you know what we want to do now? Listen to the answer to such.
Can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die.
You get it? You get the message. Some Ohaneze Ndibo and the Eastern governors is against the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And hear the response from the master himself.
Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back.
So, our time is really...
know that what
it's
informed
Ohaneze.
I wouldn't know what may have informed Ohaneze to make that statement. Of course, I don't even expect that on this matter that we'll have a consensus on it. Is not plausible to do that. You can never have a consensus. But I believe that we can have enough consensus that will speak to the mind and speak to the heart of Mr. President. Like I said earlier, Mr. President has demonstrated that he is a listening and attentive president. That if we make a compelling argument for him and set it out in our opinions, that he will acquiesce in that and then allow his Attorney General or instruct his Attorney General to do the right thing. I do not believe that the judge herself just woke up overnight and said, you know what, you guys should go and seek a political solution to this. I'm sure there are certain things maybe within the evidences also provided that probably gave her concern that we can't take a chance either convicting this man in the public interest or calling for him to be released also in the public interest. And she chose the rightful thing to do, which is to ask both parties, go back and sit, negotiate, and come back and give me a settlement agreement.
Well, we'll keep a close eye
Absolutely.
on those developments.
So, Biafrans, lovers of freedom, this is where we have to stop the program today. And we are here serving you, bringing the real news to you. And you know the answer to everything that is happening. If they fail,
such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra. Unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty.
You understand? So we bring this news to you in this way today because okwu anyị bụ nkụ gbara udu mmiri ọkọchị pụọ a na-anya ya nkụ. We keep the record straight
There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense, these principles are universal and we must uphold them. International law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Today, the Biafran Liberation Army have neutralized dozens of these terrorists in our land, and we are proud of them. They will continue to go down. Our demand is very simple. Pull them out of Biafra land. Remove every checkpoint. If you do not dismantle all the checkpoints, they will continue to die. We will continue to excel. We will continue to deal with Nigeria, and Nigeria will never ever remain the same until Biafra exits from Nigeria. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence. That uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence in self-defense.
So, dear friends, thank you for staying. This is what we have for today. We love you all, and we debunk them and they put them the way we want them to go. Any government that uses violence against its own people will be responded with the equal measure, with the same thing. And the rule of law must come. Thank you, Emisame. Thank you, Grace Onwubeya. Thank you, Ngozi Moron. Thank you, Happy Ume. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Ike. Thank you, Sumudu. Thank you, Valentine. Thank you, Lord Lego Yibo. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, every other person that is here.